Thank you. What we are presenting tonight is sort of an insight into a larger research project that we're currently undertaking, which involves exploring language and typography and letter forms in the visual landscape of Belfast, Dublin, and the connecting arterial route. So, Belfast and Dublin, geographically, they are located approximately 100 miles apart. Politically, they're situated in two different states. However, they do share a rich and varied socio-cultural heritage. And so what we are attempting to do through this research is interact and comment on this shared culture to examine and identify typographic links between these two cities. So starting off our research, we began by exploring specific typographic markers between and in Belfast and Dublin. And the idea is to remove these typographic markers or letter forms and recontextualize them to create a new meaning. Excuse me. So we're looking for both similarities and disparities and typographical nuances between these connected yet separate cities. So we decided on 26 locations. And we decided to map these 26 locations to allow us to recreate 26 letters of the alphabet. And this idea of mapping or marking of places also allowed us to explore the idea of unique place identifiers using geocoding where places have unique codes and numbers originating from longitude and latitude coordinates. So this idea of mapping and marking of places also presented us with the circle as a common visual element. So the significance is not only in the mapping and marking of places, but also importantly, it references typography and the Ogham alphabet, where individual letter forms can be ascribed to specific tree names, for example, alder, birch, and willow. So all these common visual elements, the organic nature of the tree, the reference points on maps, and the typographic language of a full stop or period. So they all presented us with the circle or the dot as a common visual element, and it became a visual unifier, if you like, for this project. So we selected 26 locations around Belfast, Dublin, and places in between. So for example, Dundalk Railway Station, City Cemetery in Belfast, Glasnevin Cemetery in Dublin, places in inner city Dublin and Dublin 8, and interface areas in Belfast. So all these letter forms, as they appear contextualized in their current environment, they are semantic guides and cultural signifiers informing identity and place. So these are just some more of them here. And not to dwell too much on the sort of the theoretical side of things, but it does inform our research. We are looking at semantics, which is part of semiotics, and it's the study of meaning in language and communication. So, for example, through words, through signs, and through symbols. And we are also exploring geosemiotics, which explores words, signs, and symbols, but in specific locations. So all this feeds into our research, I suppose, to explore typography in place, in our visual environment. So from our research, I suppose we were looking for those similarities and disparities that we mentioned earlier. So this is one that we discovered. So an image from Dublin and an image from Belfast. The image from Dublin is Bruxelles, which describes itself as a cosmopolitan bar, and it's situated just adjacent to Grafton Street in Dublin, so quite a sort of affluent area of Dublin, if you like. And then on the right is one that we might be more familiar with. It's from North Street Arcade, just around the corner. And North Street Arcade was a 1930s Art Deco shopping mall. And so they're very different places, and what's really interesting about this is that they use the same typographic language to represent themselves. So, and we have selected the E's from these two locations actually as part of our recontextual letter forms, which you will see in a moment. So what also became very interesting for us was not only the typography, but also the language that, that were in these, that reflected each of these locations, so the vernacular, if you like. You know, in the cemeteries, it was the language of rites and rituals, and also the language of loss. In other places, it was language reflecting the place, you know, reflecting political, social, and cultural issues. But then also there was wit and humour in there as well. I'm probably talking too fast. So the recontextualized letter forms. So we explored this 100-mile arterial route, and we identified 26 points, locations, typographical references. And from each of these points, we recreated a letter form representing the 26 letters of the alphabet. So by divorcing these letter forms from their original environment, they are presented as a new visual representation of the original letter form. So, and through this recontextualization, the actual physical appearance of the letter form remains unchanged. However, because the letter form is removed from its original context or environment, the meaning associated with it has changed. So these are all things that we are exploring further in our research. So looking to the future in a digital world. Marshall McLuhan famously said, "First we shape our tools, thereafter they shape us." So our mobile devices are shaping us today. They are always on, hyper-connected, digital extensions of ourselves that create a new landscape rich with opportunity. They're also impacting on our relationship with place and space. Mobile maps tell us where we are, how to get to where we are going, and even which way we are facing. So looking at other opportunities for outputs for this project using mobile technologies. So for example, one opportunity we're exploring is type dynamics. And type dynamics is an installation which visualizes information that continuously surrounds us and is always accessible. So by searching for real-time locations, the installation can locate the panorama images from Google Street View, abstract them into grids, and fill the grids with new information. So as a visitor to the space, you are literally transported to the location and surrounded by all news associated with that specific location. So, but instead of a photographic representation, the place is presented purely typographically, with current news and information on that location. Nothing in the gallery space stands still, but all information is continuously changing and moving. So earlier we mentioned the visual language, the full stop. The circle is our visual unifier for this project. So the full stop or period, which punctuates the end of a sentence, could denote the end of something. But for us at this point, it marks sort of the beginning, if you like, for the possibilities for this research project. You know, as we said, this is very much work in progress, and we're exploring lots of different outputs that we're hoping to develop. So we are excited about developing and exploring all these possibilities into different outputs. So thank you for your time, for your patience, and for allowing us to share our research with you this evening. Thank you.